You also get a really good layout of it when they start listing David's mighty men.
Oh yeah.
When you King David is just a prime example, especially before he becomes king. Some after, but you look at how his inner circle became his inner circle. You look at what forged those bonds, and it was basically running throughout the wilderness together, trying to stay alive, trying to provide for your family with a bounty on your head.
That's a hard concept to relate to in the American church right now.
Yeah.
Um, and I know all this sounds negative, but just hang on. That's a really hard concept to grasp in our American or Western church because we have it really really good in the church here.
Mm-hmm.
Have a church full of resources. There's no need of want for anything. We have everything at our disposal. There's there's really there's no persecution in the American church. There's no nothing. So we have it really really good. Um, but if you do find that church that that's being rocked and has is going through hard times, or if you have uh, friends in church that are going through hard times and you can help them and you go through those hard times with them, you'll start to understand that once you start getting close to people like that, because you're sharing that misery, you're sharing that adversity with them, you become a part of that struggle with them. um, when when the enemy pops up his head and starts to talk trash and talk smack about you or about them or anything else, you won't be moved. You won't be phased at all
Yeah.
because you know their character. Matter of fact, you've seen their character in action,
And
and that's a big big thing.
there's a guy we both know, not going to mention his name. Uh, we both worked with him, and I was at a different facility. He was same place. He outranked me, and I was a sergeant. He was a lieutenant at the time. He ended up moving up way above that. And dude, try and get this is just old school stuff. Dude tried to get snarky with me. Didn't know who I was. Didn't know what I've been through. And he knife handed him 3 inches from his face and got dead in his face. He said, "Look here." Threw a couple choice words at him. He said, "You're not going to disrespect my sergeant. You don't know what he's been through. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what we've waded through together."
Mhm.
Says, "So until you've done the same thing, you can keep your mouth shut. Go back and do what he told you to do."
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That shared experience and camaraderie, there ain't no price on that.
Oh no, no, you can't put a price on it. It's priceless, and it never leaves your mind. It's always there. It's a good pool to draw from. It's a good place to drink from in those times when you're doubting yourself and things of that sort. You can always look back and say, okay, that's where I was. That's where we were, and we came through it by the grace of God.
Mm-hmm.
We came through it together. So yeah, those times of shared adversity, those shared experiences are glorious. We have a tendency these days to want to avoid those places. We want to
Yeah.
avoid the adversity. Oh Lord, just if you get me out of this would be great. No, Lord, don't take me out, take me through. Uh,
Amen.
get me through it to make me stronger. Make me stronger, make me uglier, make me meaner, make me something. Just don't take me out of it because we need those experiences. We need that adversity. That's what makes us tougher, not just physically but spiritually as well.
Yeah. There was something you said a little bit earlier about, the closer you get a lot of times, and this isn't with all of them. I was trying to think of circumstances where it was that intense, like it would be something military wise or something that I experienced at work. And it wasn't me experiencing it, but there was a guy who, not perfect, marriage was troubled, wanted to be a good dad, just was dealing with issues. Also had a calling on him. Go figure. You can have both. He ended up going through that program where you get ordained and stuff like that through the Church of God denomination. He ended up going through that. That's the one the Lord told me, don't do it. That is what it is. I'm not trying necessarily to slight the Church of God, nor am I tiptoeing around the Church of God. It was about me being obedient. And I'll also tell you about half the stuff they taught, at least that first thing, was nothing but denominational garbage. Don't really matter to a hill of beans. But that being said, we get a call. My ex-wife was very close with his wife. Next thing you know, one of the real, real church members, this lady's husband ran a food pantry. She's about one of the most tender and compassionate ladies I've ever met. Said, hey, she calls my ex-wife, and we had just come back from dealing with something. What was going on? We might have been out on a date. I don't know. There's a message on the phone that this guy's wife had been in a really bad car accident and was dead.
Hmm.
So it was one of my ex-wife's best friends, and definitely down there was her best friend. He's devastated. Not on top of that, he's dealing with having lost a wife, but she had one of the kids, one of his sons, in the car with him, and that was about a 2-year road to recovery for him.
Oh yeah.
Because he was young and he looked anemic. He had broken
Mm.
bones. I can't remember, like one leg or maybe both legs. Couldn't walk for a minute, and he finally, 3 months out, he's finally taking steps. Grace of God showed up. But you're talking about hardship. And there's a group of us that were there together. And you know what? That's
Yeah.
being there for one another. That's
Right.
adversity. That's brotherhood. But another thing that happened during that experience, and you kind of touched on it about church folks, the more they get to know you, a lot of times will get really judgmental the more they know you.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
me and him got really honest. And
Okay.
I'll tell you what, when you're close like that, you've been through experiences like that, been through experiences like I've been at work or military, you go, you know what? I can't excuse your flaws. I
Mhm.
won't excuse your flaws, but you've always been there for me in this.
Right.
And that accounts for something. So don't expect me to call right wrong, but you can expect me to love you and be there for you despite that.
Oh yeah. You don't have to get shot at. You don't have to do all that stuff to feel that kind of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Shoot, man, my first divorce, going through that, really good buddy of mine refused to let me be alone. He would not let me be alone. He would either stay over uh, at my house or I would stay over at his house for about a year. But he refused to let me be alone at any given point, because he knew where I was. He knew where my head was at, where my heart was at. And you're talking about someone who's willing to sacrifice a lot of his own time to
Mm-hmm.
just sit in a room, sit in a dark room and watch TV and not say a word for hours, just so I would not be alone. I would not be by myself. When you're going through something like that, and you start sitting by yourself and start being alone, your brain starts working against you. You get into your own head and stuff like that. And,
Worms start eating on that thing.
yes, and all kinds of stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But just the presence, and that's the thing, just the presence of a good friend. Don't even have to say anything, but just the presence of a
Yeah.
good friend sometimes is enough to help you out. Um, never once, never once judged me. Never once said, "Man, you're
Mm-hmm.
stupid for not letting go. You're stupid for doing this. You're stupid for letting this happen." Not
Yeah.
one single time. But that's another brother I hold close, simply because he chose to not let me go when everybody else was. It felt like, anyways. So